Welcome to day 6 of our 30-day Capcut challenge. Today's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to add some background music and some sound effects to your video. These audio touches are what bring your story to life and create emotion in your video. Sound can set the mood, whether you want your video to be calming, exciting, dramatic, or playful. Music and effects can help deliver that vibe. Background music gives rhythm and energy. Sound effects add emphasis and personality. Audio can make your video more memorable and professional. So today we're going to pop into Capcut. We're going to tap on audio in the Capcut menu. And you can select from their free music library, or you can import your own music, voiceovers, all sorts of things. And then we're just going to tap a track to preview it and hit the plus to add. Drag the ends to trim and adjust where it starts and where it ends, similar to editing a video. We're going to adjust the volume and fade settings. So tap on the track and you can use the volume controls. Add fade in and out effects for a smoother feel. Use effects like whooshes, applause, clicks, or ambient sounds. You can layer them over key moments in your video. So let's head over to Capcut and play with some sound. Okay, so back to my project from yesterday. I have a couple of clips of videos that have some sound and a couple that don't have sound. So we're just gonna play with this a little bit in various ways. So first off, if we look at this track here, so this is our video track, and we know that there is voice on this particular stretch of video. So what we can do, if we don't want the voice to be on here, we can go ahead and we can mute this track. So if we click on this, we can click on mute, and now you won't hear the voice on this video. So let's see what we have for audio. We're just going to go ahead and click on audio at the top left here. And we have a ton of different selections that you can use. The ones that say Pro are for Pro accounts, and then the ones that don't have the Pro you can use on the free version. So if we want to preview it, we can click on one of the sound effects. And just click it again to stop it. Let's see, we can go peace and calm. See what the gentle piano sounds like. Okay, and you can do searches in here, various different, just scroll through all of these possibilities just to see something that fits the video that you want to use. You can also click on yours here. This is where you can import music. So with the Pro version, this is it could be kind of fun. We can import the audio from another video if we like. So I'm just going to click on import, and I have, let's see, I have a few videos here. So let's just do this one. And I want to hear what that sounds like. So I'm just going to click on play. So that's just the sound that came from another video that I had downloaded. So I might want to use that. So if you have, maybe you have a voiceover, maybe you have some music that you really like from a video that maybe went viral, you can extract and add it from there. There's also sound effects here. So you can use all these sound effects to add to your video, perhaps to mimic an expression. Let's see what we've got. So we've got a whoosh. Let's try that one. Okay, that's just a short thing. Let's try a beep. Okay, and you can see the time of each sound effect to see if it's like maybe you want something a little bit longer, like something typing. Here's typing. Okay, so you can add all of these different sound effects. Again, play with it, see what you like. So let's add some music to this road trip footage. Let's see, we want something fun. I want something fun. Let's see. Okay, I kind of like that one. Again, don't overthink this stuff. So this is a 9-minute and 54-second track. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it to my track. And it comes down here and it's going to start where my indicator bar was. So maybe I want to keep my track, so I just want to unmute it there. And then I don't have sound here. I don't have sound here on this video, but I just want to remove the ambient noise. So here we can see this little audio track right there. So I see where the arrow kind of shifts from an arrow to an up and down. Once it goes to the up and down, you can click and you can drag it down. So now you can see if I drag it back up, it's going up to 20 decibels, but I don't want that. So I want that to go down to 0. So I'm going to take that right out there, but I want the music on to start at that point. So I'm going to drag my music track right there. And now I can move my indicator bar so I can do a preview. So let's just do a quick preview here. I'll start it a little bit before. And there it pops in with the text that we had before. Now if I want to decrease the time of this track, I can just click and drag just like we did with our video. All right. And then we can also do clips of this audio track the same way we did editing the video. So if we want to clip it here, just make sure that this is selected. This video is selected because it's white. So click on the audio and now it's selected. And now if we hit the split, it's going to split that audio. And we can click and drag, or if we want to just delete this particular piece, we can click that. And let's move this back to the beginning. Now if we want, say our road trip got maybe a little dark and gloomy, maybe we want to put some gloom over here. So let's shorten that. And we want our audio to start here for our doom and gloom. And let's just look for something gloomy. Okay, so let's just try a couple of things here. Okay, so that's kind of fun. We'll just leave it at that. So I'm just going to click on add. Once again, add to track. And it doesn't go quite long enough to finish our video, as you can see here. So we can add another track, or we can duplicate this one. I'm going to turn the volume up on this piece though first. And then if you right click, you can copy. And then you can come over here and you can paste. And there we go. And we're just going to move that back and set it next to our track there. And I'm just going to move this and get it lined up with our audio there. So now we have audio that matches our video. And this still has the volume, so I'm going to turn the volume up on this part of the video. And so you can hear my voice on it. And then it'll transition into the road trip music. So let's move our indicator bar back here, and I'm just going to catch the end of this and the beginning of our music transition. So it's all up to you, but if you want to choose to delete, you can do that. Domain is not in this URL path. So that's kind of fun, and then we can see the transition. If we want to go over here, we can preview our transition. So let's do a little bit of the original and then transfer over to the gloomy. Now, obviously that doesn't match the video that I have, but you're getting the drift. So with your video, you want to match the tone of your video, and maybe you want to add a cool sound effect in the middle somewhere. So let's, you know what? Let's just randomly, let's split this. Okay, so we're gonna split this. There we go. And I clicked the wrong button, so I went back to undo. No harm done. And we're gonna go back to our sound effects, and let's do a throw a beep in there, because that will that's gonna stand out. So I'm just gonna click the plus, and you can see it it added it down at the bottom. So now it's going to play over top of our music, or we could insert it into our music. So let's see what it sounds like over top of our music. Now it's not very loud, so we didn't hear that. Let me expand so I can pull up the decibels on that. Okay, so let's try that again. So you hear how that kind of came over top of the music? So you can do that, or you can insert it into the music. So I'm just going to move, and that's just, again, dragging and dropping each of the clips. So I'm going to pull this up so it stays. Okay, so you can see it's not letting me keep it up here, right? So something is in the way. So if I go down to the end, I'm going to zoom out here to make this smaller again. Let's go again. There we go. So now we can see that there's something overlapping here. So we just want to move that out of the way. And then we can move our bars over here. Where did we go? There it is. And then we can drag it up. And now it will stay on track here. And now our beep will be in the middle of the track. So just all sorts of different things you can play with that. And I'm going to move this, drag and drop this one. And I'm just going to move it. And then you can adjust your fade in and fade out for each clip. Selected, so I want to fade in, let's say for 3 seconds, and I want to fade out for 3 seconds. So see, you can see down on the indicator bar that it has faded for us. So let's just see how that sounds. Okay, so that was the fade in and the fade out. So as you can see, again, there's so many things you can play with in this section. Play with some characters, play with some filters, just play around with all of these effects. I bet you will find some that I haven't even seen before. So go ahead, now it's your turn. So let's add one music track and one sound effect to a video. Choose some music that matches your video's vibe. Use a sound effect to highlight a key moment or transition. Try fading the music in or out. All right, so once you're done, drop a comment that says sound upgraded. See you tomorrow. We're now going to export and download your video.